Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the In the Hub podcast, brought to you by Playbox Technology UK. This week we're speaking to Alexander and Andre from Medialooks, the media software development company that specialises in delivering video technology solutions to the broadcasting market. Hope you enjoy. Well, there we go. So welcome to the podcast, guys. How are you both doing today?
Good. Thank you very much for having us.
No, of course. It was great to get you guys on. So obviously, just before we start with the main kind of questions that we've got for you here, just for a little bit of background, how did you both start out in the broadcasting industry?
Alex, do you want to start?
Well, I guess it's your turn because my story is not, really based on the broadcasting at the beginning.
Well, I guess it's kind of similar for me as well. So we didn't ever start in the broadcast industry. We were sort of led into the industry by our customers. So we started a software company doing direct show filters, and that meant doing something with video, and we had no idea where that was going or where those technologies were used. So we just did it, and eventually the customers sort of showed us the way to where those products are used, and that was primarily the broadcast industry at first.
So it was very much a case that you guys kind of fell into it. You weren't expecting it. And I noticed there you obviously mentioned that you primarily were focused on different industries than broadcasting. So what other industries are you guys still involved with?
So those are we do a lot with customers in the broadcast industry, but and broadcast is split into sort of different areas. For instance, if a customer of ours is building a vision mixing solution, is that the broadcasting industry, or is that something adjacent? Because some solutions are used in visual radio, and that is sort of not exactly broadcasting in the common sense.
Yeah.
Right? And then other industries that we went into with the SDK product was medical surveillance, media servers, that's entertainment, gaming, and visual inspection, industrial imaging. Alex, did I miss any of the SDK applications here?
Basically, they are all of them.
Yeah. So it's quite a wide range then of industries and applications. So one day you could be dealing with obviously a medical provider, the next day it's a multinational broadcaster. Sounds quite exciting for you guys.
Yeah, so it's anywhere where video is used professionally.
No, sounds great, guys. And for anyone who doesn't actually know about the company, Medialooks as a company, tell me a little bit about the company. What main products and services do you guys provide as well as the SDK?
It's kind of a Lego constructor for for developers who build video applications. So it's just a set of blocks that you can combine to build some castle or a building or a house, whatever you can imagine. You can build with the bricks provided by Medialooks. That's a metaphor for the whole SDK that we provide to the customers.
Yeah, I love that metaphor. You guys providing those building blocks for people to create something really good. And I noticed much of the kind of ethos and the value behind your company and your products is about saving time for developers. Developers' time is obviously so worth so much in this day and age. So in the kind of fast-paced world of broadcasting itself, how important and valuable is saving time to your customers?
It's always a trade-off between the quality and the time for the development. The time to market is really important for the customers to bring the products to the market and start to gather some value and revenue for the company they rule. And we actually try our best to combine both approaches. We save the time for the customers and we provide them with a quality solution.
Yeah, so it just dawned on me just how obviously if you can help out developers in any way by providing one of those building blocks, so they then don't have to spend, weeks or months working on that themselves. Especially in this industry, it just saves so much time and just helps the product get to market faster, doesn't it?
And this is exactly the value proposition that we have with the video SDK. It's specifically faster time to market of the product. And also another way our customers explaining it is that it allows them to focus on the issues of their business, on the things that matter to their customers, which is either the workflow, the specific tiny features they need, or the user interface, or customer support. And they don't spend this enormous development effort on building the bricks, the encoders, the decoders, the pipeline, the graphics, the vision mixing, the effects, everything that we handle within the video SDK.
Yeah. No, we can speak from experience from Playbox side as well, just how much that kind of helped our guys in the development phase. I'm also kind of curious about what you guys think about open source technologies. So obviously you guys being really technology kind of minded. To the outside world, the people who might not know much about the topic, could you kind of explain the benefits and drawbacks of making a technology open source?
Well, if something is free, it doesn't mean that you know how to use it. We really use under the hood of the video SDK some of the open source technologies like FFmpeg, and we are pretty fine with the experience with it. And actually, we just simplified the approach to use the same technologies for non-video developers. So anyone from any with any background can start building video-based software using our SDK without any basic understanding of what video is and how to process it. So they're reducing the threshold into the industry is one of the benefits, the side effect of the time to market value of our SDK.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you guys providing the whole package basically, and you're hard pressed nowadays to find something that doesn't have open source technology inside it, isn't it? And yeah, I just noticed that's becoming a lot more popular as of late. And just moving on to Medialooks as a company, and fingers crossed we're coming out of COVID, we're coming out the side of COVID-19. Will you guys be making an appearance at in-person trade shows or events this year, or will you guys be holding back?
There's two sides to it. There's sort of an emotional side and the practical side. Like practical or social side to it. So I'd say that from the emotional perspective is like this annual trip to IBC that we used to do. We do it in a nice way because we basically for the last 3 years we've been renting the same house outside of Amsterdam, which sits on a lake. It has a piano in the house.
Yeah.
Alex plays.
Sounds great.
And it has a boat.
Yeah.
So it has a motorboat, and with the motorboat you can go out to lakes and you can travel to other lakes through sort of canals under the bridges. It's like a super nice team building, and the whole thing is really nice. It's like a, I don't know, I can't imagine. It's a really nice house, but they sold it, so we're not going there anymore. And that happened. They did it right before COVID, and we rented another house, and then we moved the rental to another year, and then we moved it to the third time. And the way we do it is we rent a huge bus. The whole team gets in there, and we take this two-day drive from our city to Amsterdam, and then we go back. And it's this this sort of happening, this experience that we miss in the show. On the other hand, the financial results and the sales result that we've shown through the past 2 years without IBC has been really good. So we're quite happy with our growth, and that sort of pumps the question: was IBC an important factor in lead generation, or was it these 2 years just the fact that people's approach to buying has transformed because there were no shows, so this factor kind of disappeared from the equation? So we don't know that. And whether or not we're going this year or the nearest 12 months is, I'm likely to say no, for the simple practical reasons of the fact that there's still a lot of risks involved in whether the trip is going to happen. So getting a visa for the European Union has become more difficult. Any flight that you're having can potentially be canceled if you're planning it for 3 months from now. If you're planning for next week, you sort of have a feeling what's going on. Maybe it's going to be okay. But if it's 3 months from now, you don't know how the situation will develop. They will say, okay, there's a new requirement with the vaccine or with something else with the test, or they're just going to plain cancel the whole thing. And the same applies to any show. Any show that is planned for December, there's no 100% guarantee it's going to happen. So that's kind of our framework.
And I know for a fact so many companies are in that same predicament of, like you said, analysing the financial figures from the year and thinking, are these trade shows going to be worth it for us this year? And is the risk worth it? Which is a major part. But it really sounds like you guys, obviously, it wasn't just the trade shows for you, wasn't it? It was that whole team building experience as well, which is a crucial part of kind of company culture as well.
It was always both. So it was both the team building experience and the communication with customers experience. And I would say that all the relationships we have with customers are, a lot of them are quite personal, and they were all built, in tiny bits that consists of meeting them annually at specific shows. And that's how those relationships are built. So I think that the two of those sides would play a role in going back to trade shows, but it's the risks that are holding us back, and I think many companies. So as soon as we go back to normal and everything is predictable, then hopefully we're going back to this really nice and useful practice.
I do miss the predictability of pre-COVID life sometimes. And guys, support in itself, the concept of support is a topic that I also kind of wanted to touch on with you guys. That's something that you guys really value and champion. How important do you guys think it is to kind of also let your customers help themselves in some respects? So with different types of software and solutions, I see a lot of companies now are really emphasizing this giving the customers the knowledge. So knowledge bases, frequently asked questions, manuals, things like that, bringing that help to the customers, allowing them to find it themselves. Do you think the kind of days of 24/7 frontline support are over? Do you think customers will always need that level of support? Or do you think they can help themselves nowadays?
Well, I don't think that the 24/7 support is necessary in the development world, because, well, if something is in the development process, then there is not a mission critical, I suppose. For what I do believe is that the tier-based support is over, because, well, you really don't need to wait for the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 engineer to join the conversation to understand the problem. It's really frustrating for customers, and if you can get the answer for your questions from just a single person that knows your project, that knows you personally, and knows how to cooperate with you properly and effectively, then it benefits for the both sides. The customer is happy, the engineers is happy, and the team is happy. As for the help centers and documentation, we basically covered the really basic scenarios of the SDK usage, but here and there are tiny tricks that customers need some time, and the best approach for them, on my mind, is to ask the question to the support team, and we are more than happy to describe the best possible approach to reach the goals, because sometimes the customers are really get into the details too deeply, and the solution is really on the surface, and you don't need to figure out the bits and bytes of each and every frame, whereas there is a possible solution. It's the simplest approach. That's the fact that our support team is alive. I mean, is ready to cooperate in person with customers is one of the decision-making factors for the customers to work with us.
Yeah, that's true. And Alex, there's also another side to support, which if you look at it from the side of other products like video transport or direct take.
Well, if there is a scenarios where the mission critical factors are important, like you are in production, then the 24/7 support is required. And we can discuss this type of support with the customers if it is necessary for them. But basically, if the product is really good, you don't need the 24/7 support. And we try our best to build the reliable solutions.
Yeah, I just know as a customer myself, I'm always keen on finding the information myself, finding answers myself. Kind of gives me this sense of gratification if I can fix it myself. But yeah, I completely agree with you guys. It's important to have that next level of support for customers who need it, and of course mission critical customers, which I imagine makes up a fair amount of your customer base. Will be these mission critical broadcasters and medical organisations and things like that. And then, guys, this one is a question that we ask at the end of every podcast, and I'd like to get both of your opinions on this. And it's just, if you could summarise it in one word and one word only, what do you envision for the future of the broadcasting industry? Streaming. What about you, Andre?
Well, I agree with Alex totally, but my first answer was narrowcasting.
Okay.
Which means basically the fact that so broadcasting approach is you have 50 options for 100 million people, like 50 options, maybe 100 options. And with where the industry is heading today, you have a zillion options to the same audience. So everybody's free to watch whatever they want, and the peak audience, the peak numbers for a show would never reach the whole audience. So the audience is being split into specific groups of interest, and everybody's looking or watching exactly what they want.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's the way forward. Even just targeted advertising as well, I think is going to be major. It's going to be huge for broadcasters and streaming platforms in the future. So I completely agree with you guys on that one, especially streaming. It's huge at the moment, isn't it? Absolutely massive. So obviously, guys, thanks for joining me today and talking me through some of those questions. Are there any exciting plans in the pipeline for you guys that you can talk to us about today, or is it all under wraps at the moment?
Sure. Well, we can mention a few things. So, still heavily involved with a relatively new product, which is video transport. So it's So this is the video SDK is a product that targets developers, and other products that we're going to be talking about, they target video engineers. So if you're a video engineer who is engaged into producing things remotely or virtually, which is a very popular subject these days, then you need some kind of solution to deliver raw feeds from remote locations to your vision mixer or studio or wherever the place is where you handle the streams and do their production or do their recording. So video transport is one of such solutions, and it is pretty interesting and flexible. So it gives you scenarios like point-to-point video stream delivery or a synchronized delivery from multiple cameras to do a remote multi-camera production, or such scenarios as when you're sending someone a link and he opens that link in a browser or an iPad and is a guest in your show. Or a nice example actually of things that a product like this can do is the recently produced show with Oprah and Obama, where they had this green screen fireside chat, and they were in different locations, but because of the green screen technologies, they sort of made it look like it was in one room. So this is production-wise, this is one of the trends, and we're responding to this trend with this video transport product. Another application is, maybe Alex should talk about them, is Direct Take, which is a brand new multi-camera, multi-channel video recording solution, which is pretty neat, I think. And another one is Direct Convert. Alex, can you speak about those?
Yeah, the Direct Take is can be described in like get a video from any kind of source, from cameras, from network streams, and capture it to any video files or stream it to any protocols you need. And with Direct Convert, the idea is to replace the hardware NDI to SDI and SDI to NDI converters with a software that does actually the same. On a single machine, you can convert up to 16 signals from SRT feeds, from SDI feeds, from NDI feeds to SDI or NDI. And this, well, simplifies work for the customers, so they don't need to manage a lot of hardware devices to keep them with, in case from show to show. Just can install the software and do the work.
Yeah. Job. No, it sounds like it's really exciting times for you guys at the moment. It's great to hear that you're obviously taking note of and responding to customers' needs and wants. And a lot of the time now, especially with us as well, it's customers are just wanting to streamline their workflows and get as much as they possibly can in as little a package as possible, which we can't blame them for. And how can people get in touch with Medialooks directly if they want to get in touch or inquire about anything?
Well, the starting point is our website, medialooks.com. And all around the website, there's places where you have contacts and you can send a message or just send anything to sales@medialooks.com.
Yep. So what we'll do, guys, we'll link to your website in the podcast description. So anyone listening on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere like that, you guys can find the link to the website there. So once again, thank you very much, guys, for taking the time out today to come and talk to me about Medialooks and some of the projects that you've got going on. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, guys. Great speaking to you.
Okay.